That little place behind me, Ungaro's. Ungaro's coal-fired pizza, one of 2 coal-fired places in Staten Island. There's not many here. We're gonna go try this thing. Let's go eat, guys. Still touring Staten Island. The snow jammed me up, and you know what? I don't even care. In the last video, I sounded like I was trapped on Staten Island. Hey, if I'm gonna be snowed in somewhere, no better place to be on Staten Island, because we got some of the most pizzerias in all of the boroughs. We're not as good as Manhattan. We're not as good as Brooklyn. But in terms of quantity, Staten Island is king. That could change someday. Staten Island is slowly creeping up. Brooklyn and Manhattan got some catching up to do. Staten Island is you're seeing this pizza renaissance is really booming here in this borough. I just discovered Seppi out in that gentrified area in the North Shore. And now this place, I mean, there's a lot of undiscovered gems to be found on Staten Island. It's the pizza gold rush out here. We are discovering new specimens of pizza every single day in this borough. Ungaro's coal-fired pizza. They're only a month and a half old. No reviews on Yelp. I'm about to christen this thing. I feel like I'm about to christen somebody's kid. We don't want it to steam up. Nice box, nice logo, classy. Artisanal pizza, fresh ingredients. Says so right on the box. Are they true to their word? I'll tell you one thing, guys. Upon first glance, we're looking at my style of pizza right there. Nice dark brown on the well done side. Grated cheese, basil, sauce on top of the cheese. Oh, baby. I think we have a winner here based on the smell, based on the look of the crust, and based on the way it sounds when you fold it. Does it crackle on the fold? Yes, it does. It feels great. Nice and pliable, nice and airy. This guy did his homework. Old Dominic inside there did his homework. It's flopping a little bit. I don't give a damn if it's flopping, because the texture of this crust feels fantastic in my hand right now. It's so light. All right, guys, what do you say we move right on in and put this pizza into the laboratory under the microscope? Let's dissect it. What are we going to talk about first, guys? The crust. In crust, we trust. This is a coal-fired specimen. A coal-fired specimen. Coal-fired pizza is making a huge comeback here in New York City. We're going to go and flip this baby over and take a look at its bum. It's got some crackle and some pop to it. Alright, it's got some crackle and pop. It's extremely airy. But it gets a little chewy towards the middle like a wood-fired pizza. Oh, you hear that, guys? Look at this beautiful crust. Look at that. Look at the blisters. Nice dark brown char. Underneath, perfect. Look at that. Come on, is that perfect leoparding or what? It's a brand new oven. I think he said it took him months to build. That oven was huge. I am so pissed that I didn't get a shot of that oven. It was gorgeous. It looked like it was ancient. It looked like they unearthed it. He said it's 100% coal. I didn't think that was possible in New York City. I'm going to go on and on. He's using some good dough to make his product, man. Nice and airy. Look at that. Airy to the core, man. It's not 00 airy, but it's sure close to it. He's using some good flour. This crust is fantastic. I could just eat the bread alone. If he would have baked this with no cheese and sauce, I would devour it. Even without the cheese and the sauce. That's how good that crust is. I would put oil, I would dunk it in a tub of olive oil. Sauce, look how bright those tomatoes are. Look how bright. Beautiful, rich, red sauce. None of that burgundy, pasty stuff that you see sometimes No, when you look at this bright red tomato here, you know you're getting tomato, and that's it. It had a nice subtle sweetness to it. Minor sourness, maybe. A little bit. Very little, but very little. Very little. You're not going to see any chunks in this sauce. But there is some pulp, but for the most part, it's a nice, silky tomato sauce. And a pretty damn good one at that. And could you go wrong with some fresh mozzarella on a coal-fired pie? That's the New York way, man. Right there. You see that? Red, white, and green. See that cheese? In New Haven, you get a lot of the low-moisture mozzarella. You barely ever see fresh mozzarella on New Haven pizza. Maybe on Pepe's. Some places offer it, but it's not as common as it is in New York. You want to make Antonio happy, you put some of that grated cheese on there. And not just grated, but why don't you just shred it? How about that? And that's what they did. Shredded Parmigiano Reggiano. Look at that. Look at that. You could even pluck some off the cardboard. It's all over the place. Generous portion of it. And that's my type of pizza. If I'm going to rate a pizza in the 8s, you got to have some of that grated cheese. Or better yet, shredded, sharp Parmesan cheese, which gives the pizza a nice, tangy sharpness. All right, it's about that time, guys. The pizza gets cold. We give it another fold, guys. You hear that? This pizza's cold. It doesn't care. It doesn't care that it's cold. I knew this was going to happen. Flops when it's hot. And the crust kind of seemed to air out as it cooled. It let out some of that steam. When it comes to sourdough, airy pizza, it holds a lot of that steam within those air pockets. And as it cools down, it kind of airs out. The mark of a quality crust, guys. The mark of a quality crust right here. This oven's brand new. It's not seasoned, okay? When you taste Pepe's or Sally's in New Haven, the flavor of that dough is unlike anything other, man. Those ovens are ancient. Like, you go to Frank Pinello in Brooklyn, his oven's over 100 years old. The pizzas are flavored by the pizzas, the millions of pizzas that were baked before it. But I'm about to christen this thing. I'm giving it my blessing. I'm about to christen this pizza. 8.3 out of 10. It's right down the street from Brothers. You get the Sicilian pizza at Brothers. Right down the street. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to go now. I'm in the mood for a Brothers Sicilian. When you want artisanal pizza, old school, rustic, coal-fired pizza, I think this is the only spot on Staten Island that makes them as good. Started out a little chewy. If I would have got that crispy first bite, it would have went up the scale. It's coal-fired. If it was wood-fired, I wouldn't deduct points. But on coal-fired pizza, there has to be a little crisp to it. And this was on the chewy side of the spectrum. It was crispy towards the back, though. But since it was coal-fired and not wood, I will deduct points for a lack of crisp. Sauce was good. A little sourness, but not too bad. There's very few coal-fired pizzas on Staten Island. This is the best. Ungaros. Come out and try it. Well, guys, that about does it. Another review in the books. Be well, guys. Thanks for watching. Looking forward to talking to everybody. Love talking to you guys about pizza and more. Be well, guys. Keep those bellies full. Until next time, this is Antonio signing off.